think there's a type of almost music and poetry in the way machinery moves and the precision of it, the cause and effect of one piece moving and causing a reaction somewhere else. One of the inspirations for the work was looking at the Lunar Society, which was a meeting of minds of philosophers, architects, engineers, artists, and such people as Erasmus Darwin, and Arkwright was a member of the Lunar Society as well. Lunar Society because they would meet up at a full moon of every month. It was a full moon so that they could see where they were going on their horse and carts to the meeting place, and they'd meet up and discuss recent breakthroughs, issues in science, art and philosophy. And it was a period of excitement about knowledge. It wasn't, things weren't yet completely compartmentalized into various genres and various areas of science and industry. There all was a melting pot where art, industry and science had as much value as philosophy, music and literature. And that was an inspiration to me in making this piece and looking at a way of celebrating the machinery of the era and the beauty of the space. I use light in my work because I've always been, light is the key thing I think in any art. What we see with our own eyes is just a projection on the back of our eyeballs. It's not what actually exists. And I've been fascinated with this and the way you can distort and change what's around you by the use of light and by manipulating light and lenses to create a new world. Obscura focuses the image through a simple lens. It's like this. It's a magnifying glass lens, and focuses the image onto a screen such as tracing paper or traditionally ground glass. To make a camera obscura from the light type box with a lens at one end, with a lens at one end, and at the other end a screen that focuses the image. And this is a simple camera obscura. When they were used in the 1700s and 1800s by artists and architects, they would take the form of a large tent that they would take outside and get inside that tent. No light would be able to get in other than via a periscope which projected the image through a simple lens and then onto mirrors and then onto a drawing slate that the artist would trace the image that was recorded there. The camera obscuras I'll be building are more like the simple ones, except the pieces themselves will have 6 lenses and take the form of mechanical cogs, such as this. And the interior is where there'll be 6 faceted screens which will record the image of the outside world. I've used cogs for the main centerpiece of the installation because cogs represent the mechanisms of the factories, and the commission that I've been asked to do was to look or to use the machinery and machines of the period that the mills were in use. And I've always been interested in machines. I find their movements and their precision quite beautiful in their own way, and particularly some of the Victorian and older machines are just obviously have so much pride put into the making of them. And what I've been interested in is the beauty of the machines, and also the beauty of the area of the and also the beauty of the Derwent Heritage Trails. It's some outstanding areas of natural beauty, and the two don't traditionally go together, so I like the idea of combining the two in some way. As a way of linking the theme of industry and factory and mechanisms in with this, I was getting each group to design their own factory, and we had factories that make cat food out of people, we've had factories that make chocolate coated footballs, factories that wash and blow dry sheep. We're talking to the young children about factories and about the history of factories, and the fact that they would probably be working in these factories were they at the period of the Industrial Revolution. And we've been using an old technique, but using modern equipment. We've been using the earliest type of animation, which is stop frame animation, and where you take one image, move your character, take another image, move your character, take another image, etc., etc., until you get enough images to run them very quickly together like a flip book and get a sense of movement. Nowadays everything is all machines are so enclosed and tidy, you don't get to see the mechanisms and the movements, and the machinery itself is a draw. It just looks like a giant piece of sculpture to them, and of course the colours of the threads and the weaving within that area. The children did seem intrigued with the machinery, and I think it's possibly because we don't see machinery anymore. Projections that we're doing within the space at Cromford seemed particularly relevant when I found out that it had one of the first solar lumières in the country on display there. Lumière was essentially a slideshow of sorts using magic lanterns, which were either oil or gas powered lamps that projected slides, much like these, glass slides of stories of great adventures of empire, and they weren't merely just slides being projected. There was usually a setup of synchronized projectors, 3, one on top of each other, or sometimes 6, and they would be projected with special effects and multiple exposures. So you'd have perhaps a ship with images of water and fire projected on the top. People would be shaking tin to give the sound of thunder, and they would have lights flashing to replicate lightning. So in a way it was one of the first multimedia projections. They've always interested me, sun lumières and lantern shows, because they show that nothing's really changed, because we're talking about multimedia experiences and using audio and still and moving images together as if it's something new, but they were around well before the invention of photography.